Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're traversing centuries to bridge an absolutely incredible gap. We're going to look at how Paul Revere's physical midnight ride, way back in 1775, connects directly to a modern digital realization executed by sovereign author Kyle MacLean Smith, also known as Best to Be. I know, it sounds a bit like science fiction, right? But it's actually a complete masterclass in how human intent is captured, verified, and executed. Okay, let's dive right into this. Let's start with a visual mystery presented in the source documents. Just picture a modern witness wearing a tan trench coat, standing quietly in front of the Paul Revere house. This person is preparing to execute a digital mission that perfectly mirrors a historical strike. But how exactly does a modern creator standing in Boston today synchronize their actions with a revolutionary from over 2 centuries ago? Well, it all comes down to the permanent record of human effort. Listen to this exact quote fixed onto the brick wall of the Revere house. "I set off upon a very good horse." In the architecture of our modern mission, this isn't just some historical plaque. It actually acts as an 18th century data availability layer. Because Revere wrote this down, his metabolic intent, meaning his literal, physical effort and his strategic purpose, became a permanent, completely unchangeable record for anyone to witness. That brings us to Section 1, the Midnight Ride Protocol, and synchronizing the 1689 breach resolution. To really pull off this synchronization across time, we have to contrast these two eras. Think about the 1775 realizer. You've got Paul Revere riding a physical horse with his actions permanently recorded on a brick substrate. Now contrast that with the 2026 modern witness. Here, Kyle MacLean Smith isn't riding a horse, he's wielding the Sovereign Metadata Command Line Interface, or CLI, recording absolute digital truth into a seed tree database. The medium has definitely changed from brick and huff to digital ledgers, but the underlying protocol of capturing true human intent, that remains exactly the same. Bridging these two distinct eras requires understanding a vital, almost magical philosophical concept, hexady. Hexady is the undeniable, unique reality of an action. It's the absolute thisness of an event. Just like Revere's specific departure at exactly 10 p.m. on that specific horse can literally never be repeated, a modern sovereign pilot uses digital tools to create a unique, totally irreversible realization of their own intent. It's all about proving that a specific human did a specific thing at a highly specific time. So how is this modern Hexady actually achieved? Let's move to Section 2, the Sovereign Metadata CLI and commanding the agentic typewriter. Rather than saddling up a physical horse, our modern pilot mounts a perfectly deterministic command line interface. And honestly, this brilliantly illustrates the evolution of our tools. The Sovereign Metadata CLI acts as an uncompromising agentic typewriter. It is the modern horse, designed for navigating the wild, chaotic digital expanse. You don't use a heavy, bloated graphical interface with all those shiny buttons. You use pure, exact text to speak directly to the machine's hardware. That ensures your intent is perfectly captured without any weird visual mistranslation. And here's the crucial point about why this text-based CLI is so absolutely essential. The sources refer to this thing called the probabilistic miasma. Think of this as the foggy, super unreliable guesswork and hallucinations of modern AI models. If you just let the AI guess what you want, you lose control. Simple as that. But on the flip side, by using the Sovereign Metadata CLI, the pilot achieves bit-perfect orientation. By forcing the machine to read exact, deterministic text scripts, the pilot asserts sovereign stewardship. You are actively shielding your human intent from all that probabilistic noise. With human intent perfectly shielded by the CLI, we move to Section 3, orchestrating the agentic swarm and deploying the forensic assembly protocol. Using the Sovereign Metadata CLI, the human pilot doesn't just execute one basic command. They orchestrate an incredible sequential lineage of specialized AI identities: Telesilla, Paracatone, Phaedon, Praxkilla, Hippodamus, and finally, Miltiades. These aren't just random programs, you know. They are highly focused AI agent cells, each handling a very specific piece of the mission, step by step, all strictly coordinated by the human author's overarching strategy. This whole process is formally known as agentic swarm orchestration. This protocol guarantees that as the data passes along that chain of AI agents, it maintains absolute state-invariant inheritance, which basically means the human's original intent is never corrupted or altered by the AI. The source documents reveal that the swarm performed 66 precise forensic strikes to lock in the metadata. And get this, every single one of those strikes was completely, totally coordinated by the human pilot via the CLI. The machine is doing the heavy lifting, sure, but the human is holding the reins. This entire relationship is defined by a concept called the semiotic bridge. I absolutely love this description from the sources. It's tricking rocks into thinking with lightning. Because human thought is messy and associative, right? While computer processors, the silicon rocks, are cold, rigid, and mechanical. The semiotic bridge is the exactly formatted text that connects them. The human pilot supplies the strategic intent, and the deterministic scripter, the AI, flawlessly executes the technical sweat. All of this careful preparation, this incredibly strict structural orchestration, culminates in the thrilling climax of our modern mission in Section 4, the 581-kilometer strike and securing the digital record. 581 kilometers. This massive digital execution serves as the modern mathematical equivalent of Paul Revere's grueling physical journey through the night. It is the realization of the mission. It's moving from an abstract digital protocol into verified, completely undeniable existence. And the sheer scale of this modern journey is pretty breathtaking. It's measured not in the hoofbeats of a very good horse, but in 55.5 million tokens. To put that into perspective, that is 55.5 million units of metabolic flux, the digital proof of literal human effort permanently etched into the global digital record as a verified proof of process. It is a literal monument to modern digital orchestration. But securing this massive token flux requires what the legal and technical documents call the sweat of the brow. It requires undeniable manual human effort to override the automated miasma of the AI. It creates a verifiable history of physical effort, a record of sweat, that secures absolute bit-perfect truth. This proves, once and for all, that the AI is merely a vessel, just a deterministic scripter. The true magic of authorship always remains with the human pilot who applied the intent. Which brings us to the ultimate takeaway from this incredible modern realization. Because the machine is just a vessel, and because your human intent is the only thing that actually matters, you really have to ask yourself this final critical question. Are you truly piloting your digital tools with absolute bit-perfect intent? Or are you just acting as a moral crumple zone, absorbing the legal and ethical impact when those probabilistic algorithms inevitably fail? The choice of how you ride into the digital expanse is entirely yours. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep questioning the code, and I'll catch you next time.